Good afternoon and welcome to the Rotary Club of Madison. I am your president, Jason Ilstrup. Well, thank you. I like that new tradition. I think we should do that every time. No, thank you very much. Please remain standing for our opening patriotic song. Dick Lovell will lead us in the singing of our national anthem, followed by Margaritaville with Team Bartell and Peter Gray and Darren Harris as accompaniments. So please welcome Dick.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stars and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? All right, good job, everyone. All right, we've got some helpful singers to come forward here along with our wonderful band, and we are going to do Jimmy Buffett. All right. Hey, Jeff.
Nothing else.
Here we go. Bum, 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 bum. Nibbling on sponge cake, watching the sun bake, all of those tourists covered with oil, strumming my six string on my front porch swing. Smell those shrimp, they're beginning to boil. Wasting away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost acre of salt. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, but I know it's nobody's fault. One more verse, here we go. I stayed here all season, nothing to show but this brand new tattoo. But it's a real beauty, a Rotary cutie. How it got here, I haven't a clue. Wasting away again in Margaritaville, searching for my lost shaker of salt. Some people claim that there's a woman to blame. Now I think it's my own damn fault.
was awesome. Yes. And I believe, Darren, you just got back from 2 weeks in Hawaii, so you brought Hawaii back to us. So thank you very much. Big thank you for our sponsor of today's meeting, Melinda Heinrichs, and the team at the Madison Public Schools Foundation. Melinda, please stand. There's Melinda. Little known fact, Melinda is my boss. She's on the executive committee of DMI, so I guess you're not going to do what I say and stand, but that's okay. That's fine. Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding, Melinda. Melinda's been a member of Rotary since 2017. She's the president of the Madison Public Schools Foundation. Since 2001, the Madison Public Schools Foundation has been creating equitable access to and enriching students' education experiences beyond what's possible within the school's core budget. A key tenet of their work is to provide resources for Madison's 52 schools and programs that will enable success and help over 25,000 of their students thrive. As a nonprofit organization, their work is accomplished through fundraising, including grants and vital community partnerships and sponsorships. An increasing important role is advocacy, which encompasses informing and educating the public on issues affecting public school funding and pursuing policy changes. They also lead the district's referenda campaigns. A huge thanks to Melinda at the team at the Madison Public Schools Foundation for your support of today's luncheon. Next up, good friend Conor Moran will introduce all of our guests today. The list looks so long, we could probably just go in the opposite and announce the Rotarians that are in the room. Thank you, guests, for being here. Do you want me to give you the mic up?
I'm fine either way. It's a different meeting with Jason in charge.
Is that good or bad?
Just different. It's the Midwest, so different can be read a lot of ways. I'm Conor Moran. I'm here to say welcome to all of our guests. If you would please stand when I say your name, and then we will greet you with a warm Rotary welcome when we're done. So we have many guests today. First, we have Torcy Judkins, who's a guest of April Kigea. We have Aaron Weller, who is a guest of Charles McClymans. Keisha Harrison, who's a guest of Conor Moran and Becky Steinhoff. Brad Pullman, who's a guest of Joyce Bromley. Ted Junn and Michelle Slonny, who are guests of Melinda Heinrichs. Tom Cooney, who's a guest of Paul Renola. Lindsay Brahms, who's a guest of Peter Gray. Following are all guests of the program committee, so Diana Miller, Christine Reed, Cheryl Dietrich, and Laura Whitmore. And did Mindy Vinci get past me or not? No. Mary Roth is here, though. We also have Arturo Ambriz, who is a guest of Rhonda Adams. Nick Lux, who is a guest of Rob Ringeisen. Leonard Sucabras, who is a visiting Rotarian from Loves Parks Rotary in Rockford, Illinois, who is a guest of Jason Ilstrup as well. Tim Self, who is a visiting Rotarian from Anderson, South Carolina. And Patty Mayers, who's a guest of Dave Casey. Let's give them a warm Rotary welcome.
Thank you, Conor, very much. And I'd love to bring up Tim Self, our visiting Rotarian from Anderson, South Carolina, because we have a pennant to give him, and he heads to us. So welcome. Welcome to Madison. Nice to meet you. Absolutely. I think, there we go. Oh. Thank you. Welcome, Madison. Love the shoot. Tim, we'll be coming down to visit you in January. Does that sound good? Yes, the entire club will be coming down. Perfect. Anderson, South Carolina sounds very nice. All right, we have an honorary member introduction. We are pleased to have our own Don Krim in audience today. Don, can you please stand? Dawn was previously a member of this club for 16 years and resigned a year ago when she accepted the position of Vice Chancellor at University of Wisconsin, Green Bay. She continues to maintain her home here in Madison and travels back and forth between Madison and Green Bay frequently. During Dawn's previous membership, she served on our Community Grants, Rotaract, Program, and Scholarship committees. She mentored 3 Rotary Scholars and was the president of our Madison Rotary Foundation. She received our club's Community Service Award in 2016 and was also a speaker at our recent Tri-Con event in Green Bay. Because of Dawn's continuing commitment to Rotary, our club's board of directors has named her as an honorary member of our club. Don, let me say, this honorship member is in huge thanks for all the service that you have done for our club and the support for all these years and the continued support even from Green Bay. We welcome Don back to the Rotary Club of Madison as an honorary member and hope to see you here as often as you would like. Don, welcome back. All right, we got an announcement, a reminder that our Wednesday, April. You don't even know the mistake yet. Wednesday, August 21st, will be Child and Grandchild to Rotary Day. Rotary meeting is our annual event every single year, and our speaker will be magician Matthew Teague, who will be of interest to both the children and to the adults. Please make sure you invite your children and grandchildren, your nephews, your nieces, your neighbors' kids you just found downtown. You shouldn't be just walking around on their own, but anyway, bring them to the Rotary Club to enjoy magician Matthew Teague and learn some wonderful things about the community. Last year we had children ranging from the ages of 2 to 17. I could probably say from 2 to 47 since I was in attendance. There are yellow flyers at the table where you can sign up your guests. Hopefully we see as many of you as possible on Wednesday, August 21st. All right. The Rotary moment today, I'm not going to leave the stage because I don't need to. One of our Rotarians, I think I'm staring right at him, was featured in the newest Madison magazine. Let's just turn to the page here. Now I can't find it. There it is. The Lose List. Let's give a big round of applause of doing 99 things at 99 years old. I mean, Lou, I'm more than half younger than you, and I haven't done 99 of these things. Just incredible. It's so wonderful to see you continue to be so energetic in our community, and you get the just plaudits you deserve in the wonderful article by Doug Moe in Madison Magazine. So please do check it out. And Lou, keep up the awesome work. We're so thankful to have you as part of our club. And speaking of birthdays, I think you have a birthday coming up, a big birthday coming up, but we've got birthdays here today to celebrate with a bit of humor and wisdom that complements Rotary's mission. We encourage all of our members to make a gift to our foundation's Community Grants Endowment Fund that represent their age, rounded up to 100, for our Synergy Scholarship Fund. July 21st, Tina Scholes. July 21st, Scott Hammerson, who shares, "Greetings, Cox Hollow Lake at Governor Dodge State Park, where I'm camping this week. Happy birthday to my fellow Rotarians celebrating on this day, too." There he is. July 21st, past president and former past president of DMI, Dave Molenhoff. July 22nd, Sean Carney. July 23rd, Peng He. July 24th, Lynn Sexton. July 25th, past president Roth Judd. And July 26th, Sandy Morales, who serves as president of the Madison Rotary Foundation. Happy birthday to you all. To you, happy birthday, dear Rotarians. Happy birthday to you. I like that extra shot of tropical rum at the end of happy birthday. All right. Thank you to all of our celebrants for your donations to the Madison Rotary Foundation Community Grants Endowment. Let's enjoy a lot more birthdays together. All right, we're moving quickly today on to our program. I'm very excited about today's program. We held our first monthly board meeting the new year on July 1st, and I encourage members to review our board minutes that were posted on the members-only document section of our club's website. We want to welcome our members and the current board members. We always ask one of them to introduce a speaker each month, and I think this one is very apropos, because this month, Janet Moreno will make the introduction. Janet joined our club in 2012 and was an advisor to several elected officials, retiring in 2021. Didn't you just have a retirement party like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, number two.
Number two. So I'm just going to, retiring in 2021 first, retiring in 2024 second. When's the third? Nope. All right, we're done. But why this is so important, Janet ably chairs our program committee and helps bring the amazing programs we have every single week here. This is very difficult work to put this Jenga puzzle together, and she does an amazing job. She's in the first of a 2-year term on the board of directors as well. Janet, welcome to the stage.
Hello, I want to say it's a lot of work, but it's a labor of love. I love it. So I am delighted to introduce today's speaker, Mary Roth, who was named Executive Director last December for Madison School and Community Recreation, also known as MSCR. Prior to becoming Executive Director, she served MSCR in a variety of roles since 2008, including Operations Manager, as well as Youth and Adult Arts Specialist. She holds a bachelor's degree in French from Connecticut College, a master's degree in French Studies from UW-Madison, and is a certified Parks and Recreation professional. Mary has worked in recreation and community programming in some form since her first job as a lifeguard and swim coach at her neighborhood pool in Houston, Texas, and is passionate about providing Madison with high-quality recreation experiences as MSCR looks ahead to its second century of service to our community. Mary will share some unique ways MSCR supports our community, and she'll tell us about program opportunities you may not know about. We look forward to her presentation, and we have made a contribution to the Rotary International Polio Plus Fund as a way to say thank you for speaking to us today. I also want to mention we will have Q&A at the end as time allows, but please wait for the microphone. Let's give a very warm Rotary welcome to our speaker, Mary Roth. Thank you so much, dear. Thank you. All right. Good afternoon. Thank you. Ooh, I'm a little taller than Janet. Alrighty. Okay, thank you all so much for being here today, and thank you for having me. As Janet mentioned, I have been with MSCR about 15 years. Let me move. Let's see. All right. I have been with MSCR about 15 years, but I have been in this leadership role as the executive director for just over 6 months. So that's really given me an opportunity to think about the view that I have internally of our organization and my vision as we move forward in Madison. This presentation was titled that MSCR, your public recreation department, because we really at MSCR feel that we want everyone in the community to have a strong understanding of MSCR, understand that our role is here to serve the community, to provide opportunities for activity, enrichment, engagement, social interaction for everybody in the Madison community. So that's sort of that's the lens I'm working from here today. Sharing with you, I see this as an opportunity. I've spoken to lots of people in the last 6 months about my vision at MSCR, including several people in this room, about that vision that people in Madison understand who we are. We sit in a funny spot. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that. And this is an opportunity for me to help bring that mission forward. So that's where we're starting today. All right, so who are we? So Madison School and Community Recreation, we are Madison's public recreation provider. What that looks like at its very most basic is that we provide a full range of community recreation and enrichment opportunities for people of all ages. So we have participants as young as 6 months, and we've had participants participate into their hundreds. So maybe Lou can join us. or we can help make a whole bunch of other moves moving forward into the future. So MSCR, one of the things that is really unique about MSCR as compared to other recreation organizations in the in Wisconsin, in the United States, is that we are a department of the Madison Metropolitan School District. So that's a fact that is unique, but it provides us an opportunity to provide direct service to adults in the community who do not have school-aged kids. So that's a real connection with the school district and with local schools that adults in our community can have that they wouldn't necessarily have otherwise if they didn't have MSCR opportunities. Excuse me. It also allows us a really unique opportunity to help provide wraparound recreation programming in schools for kids where they are. So we can meet kids where they are. We don't have to worry about transporting them places. We can provide those recreation and enrichment opportunities for the families in our community in the place where kids are and provide that engagement for kids after school that they may not otherwise be able to access. So we really see this placement as part of the school district as an asset to our community, right? In many communities, you see Parks and Rec. Parks and Rec is typically either a city or a county function. We currently share a building with the Parks Division of the City of Madison. They are lovely friends and partners, but they're a city function and we're a schools function, and that works out really well for us, and we see that as a huge asset to our community. The other piece of that means is that a large portion of our funding comes to us via your school tax dollars. The MSD levies taxes into a community services fund, and the majority of that fund is help support our operating on an annual basis. So as we ground our work at MSCR, we really do try to we are grounded in fun, in activity, and things like that, but we try to work at an organizational level, really from our mission. So our mission is to enhance the quality of life for individuals in the Madison Metropolitan School District area and the community by providing recreation and enrichment opportunities year-round that are accessible to all. You'll hear this accessibility piece come up a couple more times as I'm speaking, because we understand that people are able to get their recreation needs met in a wide variety of ways at private providers, other public providers, nonprofit providers, and our role as a public entity is really to make sure that we're providing that programming in a manner that's accessible, whether that's providing accommodations for individuals with disabilities in our programs, whether that's providing financial assistance to anyone who needs it to participate, whether that's trying to disperse our program geographically so that we have programming in different corners of the neighborhood, or taking in community input about what people's interests are so that we're providing programming that's relevant and of interest to folks who are in the community. So that's where we work from when we're trying to work on our mission. So as we talk about recreation has a ton of amazing benefits, has personal individual benefits. It can help you enjoy your quality of life, physical activity, keeping you active. And these, as I talk about programming moving forward, you'll hear about opportunities that might be of interest to you personally, or your children, or your grandchildren. But one of the things that we think about is where we came from. So when we were created, MSCR has been a department of the school district since 1926. So that's, if you've done your math, that's 100 years in a couple years. So maybe I'll come back at our centennial and talk to you again. But we were created with at the time, schools belonged to the city. Madison had a population of about 38,000 people, and the city allocated $20,000 to this Board of Education for the purpose of running a municipal sports and recreation program. At that time, the programming primarily was playground program. So this is a picture of our playground program from, I don't know that that's from the 20s, but really with the providing safe spaces for kids to be engaged in activity way back 100 years ago. I mean, we wouldn't call it, don't tell the risk manager. She wouldn't really like this. But they're out of their homes, they're in the community, they're in connection with other people. Social cohesion is a really incredible component of the work that we do. It's not just about learning a skill or moving your body. It's about developing connections with the people around you, and that's something that we've been doing for 98 and a half years. The other program that was in the very beginnings of our programs was an adult men's softball league. So has any of you played men's softball in Madison? Oh, only a couple. All right. And women's, all the softball, I'm sorry. All right, thanks, Kelly. So it used to be just men, and it was to provide a way to enhance people's quality of life after they were done working. And while many things have changed over the course of these 98, 99 years, that core vision remains the same. The core work that we do is around building community through programming, building this social infrastructure for people to have that community. So, where are we today? Jason told me he gave me like 5 extra minutes, so I'm going to stay on track, I promise, but I've got my watch. Alrighty, so where we are today, this is a quick snapshot of the last year at MSCR. So when we talk about MSCR, often I walk around with a shirt that has that logo on it a lot, and you walk around and people say, oh, I went to the dentist, and the receptionist said, oh, I took ballroom dance, it was great. Then I went to a community center, and a kid said, oh, do you know my after-school teacher? And then I went to an event at the Spark building over on East Wash, and the security guy who was checking me in said, I've seen that logo on your shirt. He's like racking his brain. I said, well, there's lots of shirts with this logo on it all around the community with thousands of people wearing them. And he's like, no, I saw it on that boat over by Tenny Park. He'd seen it. So I have that kind of interaction on a daily basis with all kinds of folks, and I think the rest of my team who are here have that experience as well. You wear your shirt with your logo, and people have those touch points, but they don't necessarily have this global vision. So this is in one set of numbers a snapshot of what that in a year, what that vision looks like. So in 23-24, at the Department of School District, we operate in sort of school year timeframes. In 23-24, we had 82,056 folks enrolled in programs. So that's the number of people enrolled in activities. There are additional folks that we serve. That's only the people who are enrolled. That's not anybody who came to spectate. That's probably an incomplete number of drop-in programs. To make that happen, we need an incredible number of staff. Those staff work anywhere from 2 hours to 40 hours a week. They might work for 6 weeks in the summer, or they might work every week of the year. Last year we had 1,536 seasonal employees working for us. Those people are the lifeblood of what we do. We cannot do the work we do without those people. During the school year, we operate 33 daily after-school programs. Last year, we had 2,544 unique programs. So that's a yoga class, a dance class, a swimming lesson. We had 928 teams compete in 20 different sports leagues. So that runs everything from your 3 and 4-year-olds in 3 versus 3 soccer, all the way through our middle school and high school sports into our adult league programs. And in a given year, we typically are operating programming in over 140 locations in the community. So we're doing a lot of things with a lot of people, and sometimes that's hard to capture in 30 minutes, or for everyone to get a global picture of what that looks like. All right, so typically when we talk about our programs, we have sort of 2 sides of our house. We have our community programs. That's the stuff, I forgot to bring a program guide. Who has gotten a program guide in the mail? Woo! And you didn't just recycle it, right? So we publish 3 program guides a year that have contain all of the details and information about our community programs. So that is our arts and enrichment programming for youth. All of this is for youth and adults, so not just for kids. Lots of opportunities for adults. So we have our youth and adult arts programming. So that would be dance, music, visual art, painting, crafting, tons and tons of really unique workshops. Our fitness programs, we have fitness offerings for youth, adults, and our older adult fitness program. Stay tuned, much more to come on that. That's things like a class where you might sign up and come once a week for 10 weeks and take yoga or Tai Chi, strength, cardio. Our sports program, so we are operating youth from the very smallest little tiny tots playing soccer. So we have soccer, t-ball, baseball, all kinds of sports instruction, sports leagues. We're also offering middle school and high school sports leagues that happen between schools, as well as our adult sports leagues, and non-instructional play and drop-in play for adults. So we have our things that we've done, our softball programming. We've got that people tried and true. We've also got newer programs like pickleball. Any pickleballers in here? All right, I see you, Rob. So, summer camps, that's a fun one. We're in the thick of summer camps. We're offering summer camps for kiddos, elementary and middle school primarily, with all sorts of different interests: arts, science, sports, childcare focused programming. Our aquatics programs offer learn to swim from 6 months through adults, water fitness, master swimming, lifeguard certification programming, to build our next generation of staff to work in programs. Our adapted recreation programs, which offer opportunities for individuals with disabilities to participate in programs designed specifically to meet their needs. Our outdoor recreation programs, which is something that some folks are less familiar with. So we have we offer paddling, so you can learn to canoe or kayak. You could also take a trip on one of our pontoon boats. Stay tuned for more on that as well, except not right now. The water is too high. Our outdoor program staff also do a ton of programming at the Madison School Forest. So we operate the Madison School Forest out in Verona, and we utilize that space for nature programming, environmental education, team building. There's a high challenge course out there. We also have events and trips. We have some unique special events throughout the year, and primarily adult day trips where you can take trips out to either unique events or locations in Wisconsin, some in Illinois, and then our MSCR on the Move program, which is our fleet of mobile programs, which I'll talk to you a little bit about as well. Just checking the time. All right, so that's our community programs. Those are things that anybody can participate in. All of these anyone can participate in, but that's things for people of all ages. A big chunk of the work we do, especially because we are a department of the school district, is around our after-school programming. So on a daily basis at the elementary level, we have 17 elementary after-school programs. Those programs are designed to be childcare focused, but they have academic enrichment, recreation programming. We have those at 15 schools, and then we have the Allied Learning Center, which is a small program center on Allied Drive, as well as the Meadowood Neighborhood Center, which is a neighborhood center on the southwest side of Madison. 6 of our elementary sites are funded by federal 21st Century Learning Center grants. So those are grants that target providing additional opportunities to the schools with higher needs that allow us to provide really robust programming without charging fees for our families. So at those programs that are funded by Community Learning Center grants, we're not charging fees for the after-school programming at the elementary schools. At our middle school and high school level, so the middle school is something really interesting. Not a ton of people know necessarily what goes on at MSCR programs in middle school. So at all 12 Madison middle schools, MSCR is responsible for running all of the club type programs. So if you think like I'm staying for chess club or academic support at homework club or Dungeons and Dragons club, all of those clubs are run by MSCR at middle schools. That we are also running all of our middle school sports via MSCR. So in that way, in a typical year, between 70 and 75% of all middle school students in Madison participate in MSCR programs in some way. Some of them come every day, some of them come 3 times during the school year. But we really focus on programming and clubs that are student-driven, focused on leadership, identity-based clubs, so that we can provide a space where kids feel safe after school, are able to enrich their school experience, and get access to the fun and the recreation pieces of this. Our high school programming is very similar. In high school, we also offer some driver's ed programming. Driving in Madison especially is a job skill.
And if you haven't gotten a driver's license in a while, it is not an easy process, and it is quite costly. So driver's ed is a really unique program that we operate with support from the county to help prepare some of our students who otherwise wouldn't be able to access getting a driver's license, because we know that as kids grow out of school, they need to be able to drive safely and have a driver's license to access job opportunities when they're finishing school. So additionally in that, as we think a lot about programming at MSCR. We think about ourselves as an organization that programs. We are also an organization that employs a ton of people and a ton of young people in our community. So we also take really seriously our role as an employer in building basic job skills especially with young people. Not all by no means are all of the people who work in our programs young, and young can be a variety of things, but we do have a critical mass of very young folks, many of whom it's their first paid employment, and we take really seriously the work we do to train those folks and give them skills that will serve them moving forward. So that is a recap of our sort of middle school and high school programs. All right. You might be wondering, where do we do all these things? You might not be wondering. Well, I'm going to tell you anyway. All right, so we operate, as I mentioned, we have programming in upward of 140 locations each year, but we do have some sort of core places that we do things. Schools being a primary core place that we do things, both for school-based programming and for sports programming, aquatics programming, utilizing the pools. MSCR operates 3 dedicated program facilities. 2 of them are relatively new. So MSCR Central is just down off John Nolan. That's a building that we share with the Parks Division. We just last June, so just over a year ago, opened MSCR West. It is a really creative reuse of an old big box store at Westtown Mall. It's incredible if you haven't been out there. It's just down the way from the Best Buy or the Kohl's over at Westtown Mall. But we have about 30,000 square feet out there where we're able to do sports programming, arts programming. We have a beautiful new pottery studio, a dedicated dance studio where the space was purpose-built. We've done a lot of programming in a lot of places. You'll see some pictures, people in school gyms with popcorn on the floor. Where does all this popcorn come from? No one knows. There's always popcorn on the floor. So being able to do programming in spaces that were built for our needs is truly an incredible transformation for us. We have a slightly smaller program facility over at MSCR East, which is on Cottage Grove Road. We operate the Allied Learning Center, the Meadowood Neighborhood Center. I mentioned before the School Forest. The School Forest is an incredible resource. It's a 300-acre learning forest. It's open to the public. You can go hike the trails. We manage that, and we work with the DNR to manage the nature pieces of it, but day-to-day management we operate, and it's available for rental. You can rent it and go camping there if you felt so inclined. It also has a high challenge course out there, or a ropes course. We also use the ropes course at Kennedy Elementary School. We are the contracted recreation provider at the City of Madison's Warner Park Community Recreation Center. And then tons and tons of schools, parks, churches still to some extent, community centers, different locations. So we try intentionally to be all the places we can be, but those are sort of the core places that we are. So that is my big picture. That was about 20 minutes. I got about 20 minutes that's your 20-minute overview of MSCR. I've got a couple highlights that I'd love to share before that you might be less familiar with, and one area that's really, really connected to this particular club that I want to share a little bit more about in my last couple of minutes. All right. So, MSCR on the Move. Who here has heard of the Art Cart? Yes, I love all this. Alrighty. So, MSCR on the Move. Art Cart was our very first mobile program, and it's been around for 48 years. Operates as a partnership with the Madison Museum of Contemporary Art. We have added on, so we then had a program called Fit to Go, and then just last year we added a program called Clay on the Move. This year we rebranded all of those to be MSCR on the Move. So this is our mobile fleet of programs. Our goal in those is to take recreation experiences to people. You don't have to come to us, we will bring it to you. So our Play on the Move brings out large group gross motor activities, obstacle courses, imaginative play out to sites. We are in parks and school playgrounds on a daily basis. All the programming is free. All the programming is drop-in. It's really about taking programming to the community where it is. Our Clay on the Move program, I have not ever heard of a Clay on the Move other than this one. All sorts of folks have mobile programs, but Clay is a new one, and I'm happy for the team. I will not take credit for it. The team that brought it up is an incredibly creative group of folks. So we have a really robust pottery program, but it's really tied to the physical studio space. And we know that kids and adults are really, there's something unique that happens when they have that experience making art, especially with clay out in the world. And they hatched this idea that they wanted to bring the clay to the people. So we have some tabletop potter's wheels that we bring out to park shelters. We do these. And anybody who wants to, there's a picture of a very little kid doing this, can try their hand at making clay. We also have hand building and sculpture stations anytime they're out there. We've doubled this number of stops that this program made this year. Last year was our first year. We had overwhelmingly positive response. So we're so happy to have Clay on the Move out in the world, bringing clay out of the studio into the parks and into the community. And then Art Cart has been making experiential art making experiences for folks in the community for many, many years, and hopefully we'll continue to do that for many years. All right, my next thing that I wanted to highlight is our pontoon program. Pontoon boats is another thing that I think is really unique to Madison, really unique to MSCR. Madison has these incredible lakes that are a huge asset to our community, but they are not accessible to people. You can see them, you can look at them, but getting out on the water is not something that everyone can do. So many years ago, now more than 40, 2 years ago was our 40th anniversary of the pontoon boat program. We had a really visionary leader who wanted to make boating accessible, and in that initial iteration is actually to make it physically accessible to folks with physical disabilities. So we have our 3 boats are retrofit, so you can bring a power wheelchair onto them. People can access them who have mobility concerns and to be able to get out on the water. That vision of accessibility has really expanded. That is still very much core to the vision, but it's also about really getting anybody who wants to see Madison from a different viewpoint. Being out on the water is a totally different way to see Madison than seeing it from the shoreline. So we offer low-cost drop-in rides to ride the pontoon boats. We offer free pontoon boat ride tickets that are available at every Madison Public Library and every MSCR facility for anybody who wants to take a boat ride. We also offer rentals and specialty trips. Pontoons operate 7 days a week, all summer long, from early May till the end of September. And they're crewed by this incredibly dedicated, wonderful set of volunteers. So anytime you go on an MSCR pontoon boat, there is a first mate and a captain. Those folks are volunteers, and they're also wonderful ambassadors for this city and the community. They are impromptu tour guides. They are happy to share their knowledge of everything that's going on in the community and the houses on the shoreline and the history of the lakes. And it's not just, hey, go on a boat ride and somebody drives you around. They really enrich the whole experience for anybody who's on those boat rides. Right now, the water level is very high. I don't know if it's rained a little bit this summer. So right now the boats are stuck because they are docked on over at Tenney Park between 2 of those bridges that go over the Yahara River. We cannot get under. We go under the bridge until we have about literally this much space, and people have to duck to go under the bridges. So right now we are docked. So if it could just stop raining, we'll get back out on the water. Or next year, come and check us out. Please. We'd love to have you. All right, so last thing I really want to talk to you about is something that's super, Rob Strada, if you don't know him, he's back there. He's past president, I believe. He's been integral to this program. So this is a milestone year for our Goodman Rotary 50+ fitness program. We are celebrating 30 years. So actually, I looked at documents. July of 1994 is when this partnership was created. So there was a vision. If you're familiar with the Goodman brothers, longtime club members. They had had some conversations with a past director at MSCR who was starting a senior fitness program and really recognized the importance for their peers as they were growing older to continue to engage in physical activity and health and wellness. So they gifted the seed for an endowment fund that was received by, and Rob, correct me if my details are wrong, he's been around longer than I have, that was received by the Madison Rotary Foundation. And the Madison Rotary Foundation still today administers that grant and that partnership with MSCR. So on an annual basis, we receive a portion of our funding that helps support this, this program and helps maintain it as at a low cost point for our community members. So that, and that, it's like a real living embodiment of the Goodman Brothers vision and priorities of what makes a healthy community, I think. So back in 1994, we had about 30 classes and 4 instructors teaching. Today we have about 9,000 folks enrolled in a year. We offer 130 classes weekly, so that's every level, right? Between 50 and 100 is a big range. One set of programming doesn't meet that whole need. So we have 47 instructors, and in a given year, last year had about 530 classes. So that's strength classes, cardio, balance, a lot of focus on balance, mobility, functional movement, yoga, Tai Chi, our walkabouts program that is out walking in the community, various active aging and brain health workshops. So I've got some scenes here. I think one of the things that we hear from folks in our 50 Plus Fitness program a lot on a daily basis. We hear about how strong they feel, how they've maintained strength, mobility, how the physical elements of what they do in their community, in their programming, has benefited their daily lives. But more than that, we hear about the community they build in this program. That we hear about the friendships they form, partnerships they've built that extend way beyond going to yoga. But we think about, right, the Surgeon General recently put out a paper about an epidemic of loneliness that really affects older adults specifically and is as detrimental to your physical health as being physically inactive. And we see these folks who come and tell us stories about the friends they've made and how they've built this connection in this community in this program. And that is why we're doing the work we're doing. People staying physically strong and mobile is incredibly important, but people having a community they can rely on and connect with and come to on a weekly basis, every week, continuing to meet the same folks that they met the week before and seeing those people has been incredibly valuable in their lives, and they tell us that, and it makes us, I think, really proud of the work that we're doing and continuing to do to serve anybody in the community who wants to access that programming. You can see some, right, it looks a lot of different ways. There's outdoor programming. One of the littler picture on the bottom is a new class called Parkour for Seniors. If you're not familiar with parkour, people use like natural physical elements in the community to move their bodies in crazy ways. This might be a little less crazy, but they're also out having fun and trying new things, and that's a lot of what we're about at MSCR. So we're really proud of the work we do. I invite all of you, I'm not saying you're all 50, but I invite all of you to really take a look at if there's something that would be of interest to you, of interest to someone in your family, a neighbor, someone who could benefit from regular activity, whether that's trying their hand at a new creative pursuit or joining a balance class, helping people stay safe. One of the things that we've tried to be really adaptive in how we program is, right, during COVID, everything became virtual. 50 Plus Fitness is basically the only place that we've kept virtual programming because we heard from our participants that it's so beneficial for them to stay active when they don't feel comfortable going out in icy weather, when they might be stuck at home for caring for a loved one, if they're a caregiver. So we try to really be adaptive to what people need and find a spot that can work for anybody. And all of our staff or all of our instructors can modify any activity to like make it meet the needs of who's in front of them. And that's something I think is really, really powerful. It wouldn't be possible without the ongoing support of the Madison Rotary Foundation and the Goodman Fund there and the members from this group. I see several of you floating around who serve on the advisory committee. So we meet with an advisory committee from this club on a quarterly basis, and they help support and guide our work as well in this area specifically. So we found in the 30th anniversary, we found this great photo. This is some lovely older adults, in probably a kind of dirty gym floor. Some of them want to go back to the gyms. They don't want to be in the fancy new places. They want to be in the gyms. So that is what I've got for you.
Well, Mary, thank you very much. We do have time for one question. Herman. Farthest way possible. Oh, someone told me don't give me the mic. Oh, wow.
I thought I'd come over. Thank you for your presentation. So with all this going on, how do you measure success? And how do you build on it?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, we measure it in a lot of different ways. We measure it in how many people are coming. We measure it in what those folks' experience is. We try to be really intentional about gathering input from individuals who participate about what their experience is like and how we can improve it. We try to gather information from people who we're not serving to figure out why we're not serving them and how we could serve them. That's something we'll be doing a lot of work on in the coming year, I believe. And I think we build on the success we've had by continuing to share about the work we do, continuing to provide high-quality, positive experiences for folks who can go out in the community and tell other members in the community about their experiences in hopes that they will potentially find something that they'd like to try.
Well, that was quick. One more question. All right, Chris.
This may seem like a really stupid question, but do you have to be a Madison resident to participate in this stuff?
Oh, thank you. Gold star for Chris.
Literally.
So, you do not have to be a Madison resident. Our non-residents do pay a slightly higher fee for our fee-based programs to make up for that difference that our residents are paying. Because the programs are tax-supported, we identify that our residents already have some investment in the program as well. But anyone can participate. Our non-residents do also register a tiny bit later, 2 weeks later, but otherwise you can participate. Thanks for asking.
Big round of applause for Mary and the team at MSCR. Excellent job.
Thanks. I always bring notes.
Take it all.
Don't need them.
Just don't take mine. Well, I just want to end with a personal thank you to Mary and the team at MSCR. Honestly, I would not be in Madison if it wasn't for our Parks and Recreation Department. I met my wife, a native Madisonian, Rachel Sattler, at a Minneapolis Parks and Rec co-ed softball team. We met, we fell in love, we weren't very good at softball, but now here I am in Madison. So if you don't like me being here, you could say no thank you, but what you do for the social cohesion, for the connections, for our whole community, it's now more important than ever. So thank you, Mary and the team. Literally, a couple of thousand people a year are working for you to make this happen. So thank you, Mary. We really do appreciate it. All right, and thank you all for joining us today at the Rotary Club of Madison. We hope you join us next week, where we have Marlene Sorensen and Mackenzie Valenzi, who are going to talk about human trafficking in Dane County. Hope you all have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. We are adjourned.